you know.
And so it was again. I'm just so happy that she's not going to watch this. There was a time because she asked like, no, I want money for Bedway. I was like,
Bedway?
No! I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm not even the funny thing is, it wasn't even about soccer. It was about those casino games, man.
We need to be sponsored by Bedway.
By Bedway.
You know what you just reminded me of? Dr. Dre's wife.
Welcome to the Right Podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Right. So this podcast basically is about us just sharing about stuff which we don't know and stuff we don't know that we don't know, but we want to know about. So today we have a special guest with us, and I would like to introduce him in a very spectacular way, a very fantastic way, by turning this thing upside down. But anyway, today we have the Z Fitness Hunter with us. So welcome.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
Yeah.
Looking forward to the entire thing, honestly.
Yes. I've been planning to do this for a while.
Yeah. I know, right?
I don't know how many times I've shot and
It's finally here.
it's finally here.
I mean, the last time we went to the workout, yeah?
Imagine. Now we need to do another workout session.
No, most
So
definitely.
just tell us about yourself, just a short intro.
Okay, so my official name is Josh. My Instagram handle is the Z Fitness Hunter. I am a calisthenics professional, let's say expert. Anyway, I practice calisthenics. I've been doing it for the last 6 years.
6 years?
Yeah, a lot of my calisthenics work is on my page. If anybody wants to see it, if anybody wants to learn, hit me up. But I do calisthenics. I started off in the gym, but then I switched, and man.
So you would have feel like doing the weights or something?
No, it's not failing.
How can I say, building your body the way you wanted it to be?
Not necessarily, but I feel we all get into fitness for different reasons. The reason I went into fitness was not to put on muscle per se. Like, I didn't want to be Arnold Schwarzenegger.
But bro, this guy is shredded. Shredded.
Oh yeah, I probably wanted to be Bruce Lee. Arnold Schwarzenegger. But when I started training, because I started off with martial arts, and back in the day I used to be really tiny. So to get stronger, I went in the gym for strength. But then when I found calisthenics, I realized I could put on both sides and get extremely strong. Basically, calisthenics is a form of training where you use your body as the only form of resistance. So you can add weights here and there, but initially it's your body weight. Like just doing regular squats. You know when you're squatting on a squat rack, you have weights on you.
Yeah.
It is calisthenics, only that you've added a weight
Extra
to it.
weight, yeah.
But initially with calisthenics, you have your body as only resistance. I can put you on my back if I want to go heavy. Like, let me try it. But it's just my body doing all the work basically.
Okay, cool. So what do you think about what's happening, or what's been generally happening, like in South Africa or like in the southern part of Africa, like the looting going on and the riots in South Africa, and also in Eswatini, like the stuff which has been going on there. Are you following that?
No.
You're not following?
No, I'm in my own bubble.
Just quarantining yourself in that whole thing.
I mean, social distancing myself from all social negative energy.
I feel you.
No, I'm playing. I've come across some of it, man. It's complicated. Like, is it right? I don't think so. It started off from one thing and it's become one other thing.
Yeah.
You had the whole Jacob Zuma.
The corruption scandal and whatnot.
The trial he didn't make, then he gets, was it like 15 months imprisonment, and everybody's making noise about it. Which is okay, man. You can stand for your lead. You can make noise for your leader,
Yeah.
But where he's performed, True. So he should have danced to the tune of the law. Now, when that happened, it went from representing Uncle Zuma to let's just go. We're hungry also, let's just go break the malls and whatnot.
True.
So,
but also that just shows also, like, from the perspective of Jacob Zuma, he's saying it's like a political, like a witch hunt. Like, people are just after him for what, I don't know whether he was successful or what, but I honestly don't think that's true, because this man has a lot of scandals against him, and he literally has he has had 8 votes of non-confidence in like parliament, and all of them were beaten. Now imagine if your people in your own parliament vote like 8 times saying that no, you're not doing your job, we don't trust you. Then now you finally get convicted and you refuse. I actually think that he's actually at fault here. He's supposed to like just step up and just go into jail, because 15 months isn't that bad. It's just like a year and one, and most likely he's going to get a suspended sentence.
No, the 15 months is for something else.
But something else,
Yeah.
is that the one with the guns?
No, contempt. He didn't go.
Oh, yeah.
That's why it was 15 months. So it's 15
okay.
months plus.
I see.
But if you ask me, man, people are just hungry. That's the only reason people loot. It's hunger. I'll give an example of the time we were looting Pamande by East Park.
Why are you saying we?
When,
No, we. He's talking about we as Zambia.
yeah, yes, we had some.
As
Don't self-snitch here.
But then again, I was there. But there's no Peter Wacham. I was going to the gym.
Okay.
So, by active, I was wearing black. I'm just saying, when's like, bruh, you know how quickly you hide the black?
I have a story about wearing black at Dunza also, because it was crazy. No, but just continue what you're saying.
Anyway, so the times the pick and pay, the times guys went and destroyed East Park. It's just hunger. I don't know if people managed to get into some shops at East Park.
I think I saw some videos where they got into, was it pick and pay where they broke the glass?
I think so. Because I remember the Maunga, people were like...
We've been with the trolleys and what.
Yeah, and now when you see what people are stealing, or well, looting is step every day. When you see what they're stealing, they're taking stuff like millimil, salt, wonga, the basics.
Yeah.
You know, no one was getting cornflakes, Kellogg's. Ain't nobody got time for that. People are hungry.
Let's say like people are stealing TVs, what?
Yeah, people are genuinely
They
hungry.
want to start businesses, these guys.
Okay, but in SA they've gone overboard, bruh. Like, there's a whole Ferrari in Soweto, like, you know, they get like...
Are you serious?
Guys are not fucking around. Luxurious sofas. There's a picture, man.
Oh, I saw that on my page.
Just in the house. Never met a shark. but they have all of that. So guys, you know, also with South Africa, I think it's to do with their history, okay? At the point where they feel like it was taken from me, now I'm taking back.
How many times are they going to take it back? Because in 1994, didn't they take it back?
No, guys, who's independent? We are the...
Like as in a country or...
Which country is truly independent?
Honestly speaking, I don't think any country is like,
They're just-
like truly independent.
It's like slavery. I don't think slavery ever ended. Its form just changed. You know? So,
True.
same thing with independence. We're not really free. It's just changed. I mean, we literally... What am I saying? We literally have to celebrate every 24th to remember it. We're independent from those dudes. But then, when you look at, are you truly independent? What makes us independent? Like, what are we manufacturing in Zambia? If the world closed and turned our back on Zambia today, would Zambia stand on its own say it's an independent country? I don't think so.
No, I don't think it can.
And I think it applies to many other African countries, not just us.
Because that's how I think like South Africa actually the economy like grew to that level, because during apartheid they were closed from everyone, like just like a few countries were supporting them, but they developed industries like big companies like Saso, which produces literally almost everything, like plastics, drinks, washing powder, like literally anything, like every day-to-day thing which they use, they make there. Now that's something which we don't do, because we import like so much, like even toothpicks we import, earbuds we import, toothbrushes, that's how much we don't produce.
And to think we're coming from a place where we used to have an assembling plant for cars, was it in Livingston?
Yeah.
Around this time, and look, that's gone. Like,
Imagine.
And those Chinese people telling us to our face that Zambians are not ambitious. That's fucking annoying, man.
Imagine.
Like, we are, but just no support for our ambitions. I mean, look at us. Isn't this ambition?
We're trying to do something at least.
So,
Because that at least comes back to the fact on also our heritage and our history. Is it something which I can say, is it because of like the spirits which are there, or how we think towards certain things? Like, let's say...
that's an interesting way to put it.
Yeah, that's the segue for going into spirituality.
Are they spirits, or is it a mindset?
Oh yeah. Okay, let me just rephrase that question. Okay. So, like, just coming back to Zambia, I would just like to think of it like, is it the spirit let's say the spirits which are there, or the general mindset which we have as a nation, which affects the way we are not producing. What do you think about that?
Damn, that question is heavy.
Yeah, it is.
It's a two-way play, I think. Mindset and there's some spiritual retribution that's due, I think nothing happens out of nothing, man. Like I feel, I remember there was a time when even Keke, I think he asked ECO to go over to his house, like I remember the time like that where he was trying to just give him advice, This is like a buddy.
Yeah.
He's a guy from old, okay? He knows how things work before.
Mm-hmm. You wrote the playbook.
Mm-hmm. Well, not per se, but he knows how the book was written.
Yeah.
It's like someone who was there before you will always know how the gears worked.
Mm-hmm.
You're only going to find a working system and you just try to run with it.
Exactly.
So I feel there's a bit of spirituality based off, if you look at our culture, as the years go, our culture has been whitewashed. It's dying out. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
but do you think it's like whitewashing with this whole concept of globalization, like us becoming like one whole culture? Because like let's say like due to social media, we are all like we're seeing what's happening in South Africa, we're seeing what's happening in America, we're seeing what's happening in China, but we're seeing some form of what's happening in China, Australia, and what. And now we're just sucking all that content.
No, can I give you an example?
Mm-hmm.
Chinese people are seeing the exact same thing that everybody else in the world is seeing, but their culture doesn't change. The things Chinese stand for still remain the same. Chinese people laugh at America for that culture, homosexuality, all of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
But you'd be surprised that China actually funds Hollywood. You know what I mean? But then here they are laughing at America for producing that. Find it, you know what I mean? So basically, it's a culture cancer, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it's happening in America and we're able to see it doesn't make it right. Now, a lot of us, because of that window now,
mm-hmm.
we're forsaking what we know and we're jumping into what we're seeing. Like I said, the Chinese people don't bend for nobody. The Russians don't bend for nobody.
True.
But look at us. America's doing it, let's do it also.
Mm-hmm.
Check. We're not holding on to what's ours.
We're losing our values, our
exactly. I mean, I'm not saying everything that comes out of America is bad, but at the end of the day,
70% of what's coming out of it is bad.
Even 90.
Even 90, girl.
But
mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, we have our values for a reason, and
mm-hmm.
they've been in place there for a reason. Our ancestors knew why they did certain things, and until I or you personally know why they did it,
mm-hmm.
it would be stupid of you to deviate from that.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't know why they did it.
Exactly.
But when you know why, and you're like, that's some bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you never right to switch. You know what I'm saying? Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
But when you're ignorant, it's fucked.
That's true, because that's what I believe. Like the whole global and Western culture is, it lacks like those core values, the basic spiritual values. Because as Africans, we have like a common heritage of like, let's say, respect for like elders. We treat them in a certain manner. And for them, they literally call anyone by their first name. I'd say that's like, hey Mandy, that's your queen. If I call my mom, hey Andy, come here. Hope you didn't hear that. Like, what are you talking about, you child? But anyway, they lack the whole sense of spirituality, and they're trying to make new concepts or new values and new principles which they're trying to put on us. And what's happening at the moment is those things are also clashing. Because if you see, like, let's say the whole thing about the LGBTQI community, though it's not a new concept, they are propagating it very much. And if you say anything against it, they'll be like, no, you can't talk about this, you can't talk about that. You can't hate those people. Though I don't hate them, I don't have a beef with them, but as a person, I believe we're supposed to have, like, we're supposed to be free to say and believe what we want. But if I say I do not support them, that's going against their thing, and they'll be like, no, don't do that. And they'll be infringing on my own freedoms.
And to think we live in a world that's liberal.
But I can't say certain things about certain people.
I know, right? It's messed up.
It's crazy. It's really crazy.
I'm personally not voting in this coming election, but just to bring up what you said about the whatever that Q Shashan, whatever they call
The
themselves,
ABCDs.
the ABCDs. I like ECL has my vote on that particular topic because I remember the time when they're trying to push the whole homosexual agenda.
Oh, and he denied.
And he denied.
Yeah.
Like, if I was voting, that's like legit one reason I'll vote for ECL.
Mm-hmm.
Or whichever leader's coming, like that's a proper stance, and there needs to be a reason. Just because the West is doing it, I don't think we should jump into it.
No,
Like,
no. Because like that's why what you said about China also, and what I actually agree with them. They don't bow to anyone. Now that's what we keep on doing. Like because like we're broke and we want to like let's say build some certain things. Be like, okay, who's going to give us money? But instead of us thinking, no, what can we produce? Or like, who's going to give us money to do this? Instead of us producing something to generate money, we look at the quickest source of money, and when we get that money, the T's and C's which apply to that, and most of them right now involve this whole ADC movement. And then they will shoot us for that. The LGBTQ movement.
I have a question. Can you say we've become that because we've lost a sense of spirituality? Like we've lost our identity as Africans and replaced it with religion. Is it safe to say that? Because me, I'm not a religious individual. So is it safe to look at it from that perspective? Like we've replaced our culture for something that's been given. Do you feel that if Africa was still as spiritual, do you think we'd still deal with such issues?
Honestly speaking, not really. Cause like for what I think is going on like right now, at one point we were spiritual. Then when the British came with the guns, the Bibles, and everything, we became religious. Then now what's happening? We're losing the religion, and we're also forgetting about the spirituality. We're trying to think of things more in a logical way. We're forgetting there's also we're spiritual beings as people. Yeah. So we have lost the core principle of spirituality, and we are losing religion, and we're just trying to explain things logically, which I don't think is possible, because there are things which happen, which logic can't explain it.
Clearly, spirituality and religion are two different entities, yeah?
Yes.
Is it safe to say, well, not is it safe to say, but what benefits can you highlight from religion? I'm guessing you've had a religious encounter, and you're probably going through a spiritual phase right now, yeah?
Yeah, so it's a very nice way to put it.
So did religion have any benefits? Like what could you say you benefited during your time as a religious individual? Regardless of what religious group you came from.
Okay, so generally, the benefits I can point out from the time when I was religious, the sense of order, and let's say, not really functionality, but order and principles. Like, let's say every Sunday, I have to do this, I have to do that. Then let's say Tuesday, there'll be a prayer meeting, or there'll be what. That sense of order, that's what I really take from religion. That's what I can say we can keep, that we can keep from religion. But now the things which I don't like about it is also the sense of judgment and the sense of refusing different things from different people. Like, I believe, not really I believe, like when Jesus came, now I'll go back to that, the same story for the church and whatnot. When Jesus came, he literally went into the temple and saw people doing saw people selling, and saw people, what were they doing? What else were they doing?
Basically, it was a place of business.
They turned the temple into a place of business, and he was really upset about that. So he flipped the tables there. That's what I've seen the church is and religion has become like right now in our country. It's like become a place of business, because if you go to like let's say some churches, the first thing which you see is not really like the cross or the what. You see like let's say I'm not hating on anyone, I'm saying this, like you see an ATM or you see a shop, instead of like seeing like let's say something which is going to point you towards Christ. Okay. So that's what I don't like, because now they are taking away the whole meaning of Christianity. Because like one thing which you have to distinguish here is religion and Christianity are also two different things. Because in religion, we try to focus, like religion tries to focus on, like, let's say, the day-to-day tasks, like things which you can't really change. Then Christianity focuses on loving your neighbor, forgiving your love and forgiving. I'm paraphrasing a lot of these things.
So, okay. When I think of spirituality, I remember Burna Boy's song. All my people are spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
And trust me, each time I hear that song, it just gives me like a boost.
True.
It just makes me feel like I've got some spiritual backing, like ancestors shining, like,
behind
you. But anyway, like, yeah, man. When you look at spirituality, I feel spirituality is going back to the source. I think that's what it is for me. It's about just bonding with where you come from, just understanding, like understanding how insignificant you are in this whole ecosystem. Like, a lot of the times, human beings like to think we're the most superior and important thing, but man, those trees, those ants, I think ants do more to the earth than we do as people, stuff like that. When you actually see where you belong or where you come from, and I feel you start to appreciate it more. Even how your approach towards life changes. I feel those are like the steps of how to go or become spiritual. Like, you have to at some point lose yourself. Even if you look at it from a Christian perspective, because I used to be Christian, okay, and there's those songs you'll be singing, I give my life away so you can use me, stuff like that. It's you becoming smaller and letting something bigger.
Yeah. Because that's what I think also, like, let's say a lot of Christians or like a lot of men of God right now are forgetting that core principle of them becoming smaller and them being the vessel. They want to be the big person itself. They want, like, no other small people to be under them and be like, no, like, let's say if you're like a junior pastor at, like, let's say the church of microphones or something, they'll be like, no, where are you from? I'm from the church of microphones under the overseer, what. They want to be put there.
The papas.
Yeah, the papas. The seers, the prophets.
Saying stuff like the seer in you.
The seer.
I don't want to go this podcast. He who sees all.
Hey.
The dawn of power.
Okay. That guy is rich. He's got rich, man.
He's got rich. But now him, do you think he is religious or he's spiritual?
Spiritual, man. It's spiritual. More than spiritual.
Him is more than spiritual.
I remember the time when he said how he made a difference. Where he said the powers of Jesus and made his spiritual power. I remember the video.
Yeah, what was that thing? The funny thing, actually made the video about him. What's the supernatural power?
Yeah,
the supernatural power.
When you look at that, when you look at the way I look at spirituality, okay, and everything that's supposed to be super or supernatural.
Yeah.
Basically, if you ask me, I feel the source is the same. Like the source of all power is the same. It's a question of what are you doing with it? Like, are you using it for good?
Or like, what about who or what method are you using to channel that power?
Thing is, the methods are almost similar. Like, okay, not exactly similar, but at the end of the day, it's a question of it's a question of what you choose to do with the power. Like the some will do some dark shit where they do that.
Chickens and
that's not
about chickens.
Bro, the guys who cut babies, that's a conversation for another story or for another day. But basically, yeah, I genuinely feel the source of all power is the same. It's just a question of how you conjure it and use it. So what you do with it is where good and evil now comes in. Ujani is a witch, this one's a wizard. Because I mean, that's the witch doctors, people who chose to call witch doctors for lack of a better word, or because we're taught to call them witches or wizards or warlocks, whatever. There are a bunch of them who still do good. Like, the people who, like doctors, we use natural healers. The people, they consider themselves witches. There's some of them, like herbalists, like, they use the earth to fix you. Technically, that's not their power, but that's from the source who created those herbs and boom, you know what I mean? So it's a question of how you're using it.
Who created boom? Interesting.
I feel generally, spirituality is inherently ours as Africans. Like, a lot of what we do is spiritual. Even when we're in church, man, you've seen guys who like the Kasamwa or the worshippers of what hit them, that they are just
doing all that stuff
like that, lamenting. It's in us.
Yeah, but
also
also
say white people don't do that, but it's original. Like when it's about to go down, an African is going to do it. It comes out of us. So,
but also that's how also I can say spirituality is also infused into religion, because some of the things which we actually believe are from the spiritual side, and they are from the African superstitions, and they've been infused somehow into our church beliefs. Like, let's see, I'm trying to think of an example. So I wanted to say this the previous time. I was like, I've forgotten the word. I'm trying to think of an example. I'm trying to think of an example, like a superstitious belief, which now people are thinking is actually in the Bible. That's what I'm trying to think of.
Okay, whilst you're thinking of one of those, I'll give a superstitious belief which is in African culture. First of all, I'm not like a spiritualist. I'm not like I'm not a traditional shine.
Yeah.
It's just I just like to source out my own truths. Okay, at the end of the day, I might be wrong. But one such, did you know that some of our African culture, like traditional ceremonies, are kind of interlinked to like our own history, in terms of history, like in how the white man came and enslaved us. Like, every African society has a form of chinyao, and how chinyao is always going into the communities and just whooping us people, just whooping them left, right, and center. Apparently, that's supposed to be a depiction of the coming of the white man, and how he came and enslaved us, the whole quarter and shining. So basically, the idea behind it is when the whip comes, you run away. That's why they just whip everybody and everybody's running away. So, yeah. Did you know that's a thing?
No, I didn't actually know that. So, like, in that way, it's depicting, like, how the white man came with his, not really whip, but his gun, and how we're running away and scared in a way.
I think it's both figurative and literal. Like, it's about religion at the end of the day, but religion interlinked to slavery, and before you know it, here we are. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
So imagine if that didn't happen, we'd have been doing this podcast in a different language completely. Probably with different technology, because we wouldn't have been using like the stuff for the white people. Maybe we would have had our own stuff. Maybe we would have reached that
Wakanda.
Wakanda level, huh?
Wakanda levels. Like, I don't know, like, I honestly strongly think there's like lots of truth in movies.
Yeah.
As compared to like the news. Have you watched the Truman Show?
The Truman Show, I've heard of it.
Stars the guy from The Mask, Jim Carrey. Okay, there's just truth in movies at the end of the day, but the Truman Show is about a guy who finds himself, who's looking for himself at the end of the day, and eventually finds that the life you're living is a lie. He basically meets God, and his whole idea of life was beans. So, like, I feel that's kind of how the world is today. Like, lots of truth out there, but we're not exactly living our truths.
Just living a version of it which can be easily, like they say, approved by people, which people agree to easily.
I like what you're doing with the right podcast. The whole Mr. Right stance. I strongly like it, but then I think I heard you talk about sponsorship some time before.
Yeah.
What are the odds of you not losing yourself to that sponsorship?
Like, I would try as much as possible to stay to my core values so that I'm not influenced by people who in the future might give me money, but I want to still give my story and not really be affected that much, because there are a lot of things which I want to say about, like, let's say some companies, but they might be interested in the future, but again, it's a really tricky thing. It's really tricky.
I asked because I came across the Saka startup thing.
The hardest one.
Yeah, interesting show. I saw it a couple of months back, like when I first came across it. It was dope. Now seeing what it's turned into now or become, it's like an ad for like MTN or Huawei, like, I kind of don't see the creative perspective I saw before. Like the reason I was down to see it, like it's kind of on your face, like the MTA.
Get your SIM card, get your starter pack.
Then speaking of the same dude, I wonder what his name is, but I do not like that alter ego, man. Like I really don't.
The hardest though.
Yeah, man.
But bear in mind, the podcast still likes you in case you ever see
this is, like you said, I'm a guest. This is my own opinion.
Exactly.
It's not a stance of the podcast, yeah. But I'll explain why. I'm not just a random hater. Like, nah, I don't just hate the dude. I feel the original character behind the original behind the persona is a genius. Like, putting that together,
True.
and making money out of it is sharp. He's like a modern day Kabova. I don't know if you remember Kabova from movie TV days when he had the Biki loans and then even the Biki loans at the end of the day, it's the same type of business. It's the same blueprint. Now my problem with that is there's no distinguishment between the character who's the hardest one in Osaka versus whatever his name is,
versus Mix himself.
Mix? Okay. I don't think
I hope that's his real name. That's his YouTube thing.
The producer, is that his name?
Yeah, I think that's his
okay, at least they know him by that.
Yeah. It's kind of like if you're 50 Cent in real life.
Mulenga's his name. I think those guys use their real names in the shooting.
But is Mulenga another character inside?
Is it that?
Bruh, Mulenga is. It could be his name. That's his
name. I think it's his
name. Continue.
But you showing a picture of him. You know what you're talking about.
What I mean is, okay, let's just call him Mulenga, okay? That's what he goes by in the show. But I feel Mulenga and the hardest owner are two different individuals. Like, Mulenga himself is a straight up hard creative genius, okay? But there's a whole generation behind him. This guy's an influencer at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So there's a whole bunch of kids who can distinguish Mulenga from
the hardest
owner in Osaka. Again, I don't think Mulenga's his name, but anyway. But yeah, so
for this segment, it's going to be Mulenga.
But like I say, when we meet in the street, man, don't throw stones at me.
We love you.
Before, I think we met a global platform once. Lots of creative that side. Okay. But yeah, it would be very nice to see if he just comes out in a way where there's this guy and there's the persona, because there's a whole bunch of kids, the whole generation trying to mimic him.
Exactly.
There's kids who think if I dress like this, I wear a durag, or if I don't change my bamba,
Exactly.
Guys who are taking it
because
serious.
there have actually been a lot of people have actually noticed now who are wearing durags more.
Really?
Yeah, like you just go in the streets, you just see people wearing durags. I don't know that it was trending at the time, but since he did it, I've actually been seeing a lot more people wearing durags.
But durags are not supposed to make your hair wavy. That's the reason people.
No, I'm seeing people with afros with them. So what's the point? What's the point?
It keeps your hair soft as well.
Yeah.
It's sad to say you brought durags back. I remember when I was younger, the older dudes, like the older, I can call them gangsters. Kind of back then they don't exist. Existed, I think, with our generation.
Yeah.
But those OG guys, like my mates, cousins or older brothers, those are guys I used to see with durags. Those are guys who were getting tattoos, and tattoos are not a thing in this country. So
so like bandanas.
Yeah, so it kind of died out with that generation. I think some of us tried to mimic it when we were younger. We have like a durag, wear a bandana, even tai chi and shit like that. But then the older we got, it died out. So now it's coming back. I'm not trying to say durags are a problem, okay? That's
no. So that's not the issue.
Durags are fine, but it's the embodiment of being an exhale body.
Because also I've seen some videos on social media where there are youngsters, lighties, the guy who's not even more than maybe 10 or 7 is talking with a slang, which is cool, but I wouldn't want that to continue and just think that that's all he can be. You understand? They can actually be more than that.
Another reason why I have a problem with that is his audience is relatively young. It's youngsters. The majority of them, right? Yes, quite right, you sit and watch, but you can't tell me you've watched every episode. That's some BS. That's some BS. You've not watched episode 1 up to 8. Are they at 30 something? They'll be moving. But yeah.
I don't think they're going to 30.
You should be a millionaire by now. should be a millionaire by now.
But that's
That was a lot of episodes.
Yeah.
No. Okay, let me just check. But then we continue. But I highly doubt it's going to
But anyway, my point is,
Yeah.
please check. My point is, there's a bunch of kids who are watching this, okay? And now with kids,
Okay, so pause. Like when you just type mix, he's like the 9th person, like down. At least he's being recognized by the algorithm.
yeah, he's doing too. He's just killing it, bro. Like, he's honestly killing it. I think he's one of the most viewed YouTubers in the South, if you ask me.
But he has a total of 23 videos.
Okay.
23 videos.
So that's close. 27 short. 7 shy. 7 shy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, man, this is some cool stuff, to be honest. Like,
No, it is dope. Like what he has done is very good. I give
it's
it that.
hella creative. But my point is, so kids have a window where they download information, okay? Where you actually structure their lives. So when you've got youngsters who are watching this is what they're thinking is a real life or the real world, you know, stuff they're looking to expect in the worldy. And then, you know, it gets crazy.
Things just switch up.
I feel there's consequences to everything, okay? Nothing just happens just for just. Yes, he's making his money now, it's proper, but look at the next generation of Zambians who are balls deep in his videos, okay?
Exactly. Like they grew up just watching this.
Yeah, like, you know, how they're going to turn out years from now if this is all they know. This is going to be a normal language, you know? Like,
Yeah.
It already is, bro. It already is.
She's young.
But I feel like it's not it's about the persona rather than the language, because if you look at the way the English dialect is, the English language, sorry, it has a different. It's spoken differently depending on where you come from. So, like for example, in Zambia, our language, our English language, when I'm talking in English, I do not have any letter R. Like I will not pronounce it. I'll say I'm going for work. I won't say I'm going for work. I'll say I'm going for work. I'm driving a car. You know, I'm going to the bar. Yeah, we're going to town there. You know, like each language speaks English differently. You look at the Jamaicans. The Jamaicans, it's English they speak. That's English they speak. That's English they speak. But it's called patois, right?
Or even pidgin for the Nigerians.
Yeah, even Nigerians speak pidgin English. And I think, like, for our generation, this is like, you know, this is how we're going to be talking. Like, it's over. It's how
This is the future.
yeah, because if you look at my older brother, right? My older brother is like 30 what? He's in his 30s. And he still calls me XA, you know, XA, what's cutting, man? What, you know, like, he still talks like that. And this is a guy, when you see him, you'll be like, this is a fully grown man, and he's wearing a suit and everything. He goes for work, like full-time, proper job. Like, this is a proper human being. And I feel like when people hear this, they won't get your point. And your point is, kids have to be more than a certain type of persona who doesn't aspire to be more, so to say. I don't know. Am I getting you wrong or what? Especially the part where you talk about not washing your bum.
Okay, the thing is, I mean,
I don't think it was that serious about
at
it.
the end of the day, he's clowning around.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
it, okay? Look, this is how social media works. For you to have the most views or be streamed a lot, the majority of the time, if not all the time, you have to do some stupid shit. Okay? Stupid shit trends. If he came with a proper approach, tried to be a whole lawyer, shiny, and did the exact same thing, I don't think his views would
No, not that much.
So, like, it's not that he's dumb or he lives that way, but my point is, there's a lot of kids who are looking to be influenced or to learn. Look, man, growing up is hard. Raising children is very hard because, first of all, you as a parent, half the time you're not even there. So your child is now left to either their own devices or their mates. So if their own devices is watching something that's not structurally healthy for them, not that I'm saying that is, but chances are you're going to have a fuck all kid, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's not about him not being productive or saying XAs are not productive. But
Not at all.
I say everybody's an XA, man. Probably even me. Like, you'd be surprised when you see me with certain friends of mine, the essays come out. I say this, blah, 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 shit like that. But then, It doesn't come out every other time. I can go into a meeting and you won't see the excess side of me, like the example you gave of your brother, yeah? But now with him, the hardest one in Masaka, there's no distinction, okay? All you get is just the hardest one in Masaka. Even when you see him dress, because like I said, I first want to say my global platform, shit. I want to say him by the global, and I'm not trying to say dressing is off on one. That's who he is, an artist at the end of the day. You express yourself how you feel by your art. Okay. Yeah. Now you need to be able to, and trust me, seeing him like that, I think he's a fucko guy. You wouldn't think he's doing shit like this on YouTube. You know what I mean? You don't expect that shit is actually blowing up on YouTube. Yeah. Because you just judged him that
from
way.
His appearance.
From the appearance, and then probably if you even sit down with him, you discover that it's a whole other individual. Like there's a whole genius behind what you're seeing.
Exactly.
My point is, the kids won't think the way I'm thinking. The kids won't think that there's a better person past that. The kids are like, man, this guy, let's go Skybar, all these babes in the video, this guy is popping, this guy is happening.
So they want to imitate
They want to now imitate what they're saying. That's my problem. So if he now comes out and tells them, guys, fuck that, that's not me. You know what I mean? There's a difference. That's just entertainment. So now even the kids now know, okay. It's like when you're watching wrestling, man. We all thought wrestling was real until some of us last year when I found out it was like. No. Yeah, man. So yeah, it's crazy. And then also, why I asked about the whole creative thing, like I said, I think the show's kind of changed or been kind of sponsorship washed.
Oh yeah, true.
Like the direction has low-key changed, and if you saw it from the beginning and now, you can kind of see that. Okay, yeah, like
because like in the beginning, I still love the show, still love the content, but in the beginning, it was more of the character and like what she was going through. Now here it's about let's say like it will start to be like MTN, everywhere you go you can get this, you get your SIM card and starter pack and do this and this and this. Then you wait for like maybe 2 minutes and they're still talking about MTN and still talking about MTN, like okay, when is this thing going to happen? When am I going to follow what Mulenga is doing? Like that's the character who I've loved and not the whole Exactly.
So yeah,
get the bag, get the money.
Yeah, true. That's why I asked. Like, with you looking for sponsorship and whatnot, what are the odds of you not losing Mr. Right and being a mouthpiece for your sponsor?
I think it's just also choosing who exactly I want to work with and how I will place their products or their services in the whole show. Because I wouldn't want to, like, let's say, I wouldn't want to put something which I don't believe in. Like if I'm going to work with someone because I believe in what they're doing and what they're offering to the people.
I know, but I think we can change the conversation because the longer we talk about this,
it's good.
Bulky, bro.
Yeah,
true. It's bulky.
So in the way we're shifting this conversation, we're just going to get a word from our sponsors. A word from our sponsors.
Okay, so the thing the thing about relationship is like for you as a man, you need to understand your role. And then we're going back to like the spiritual and the cultural sense. You need to understand your role in life, and the woman needs to understand her role in life. And this is why, like for me, I do not partake in this like battle of the sexes thing. Like, look, if as a man, right, if I am a provider and a protector, well, you're writing down notes.
No, just continue.
Yeah,
for him.
So if I'm a man, right, I'm a provider and a protector. So what does that mean? That means I'm supposed to protect my girl's integrity, and I'm supposed to provide my girl. Not necessarily, it might not be with money per se, but it's going to be emotional support, mental support. What else? It couldn't be like monetary, just so I can provide support. Because the thing about our generation now as men, it's like we do not understand our power as a man. And this is something that I've realized like these last few years or last few months, is that as a man, dude, like, you have a lot of power, especially now that even with your own mother, you have a lot of power on her, not in a way that's like dominating. No. But in the sense of protection and providence. Like, there are certain conversations I would have with my mom, and I could sense a lot of dependency of her on me. Not in monetary terms or like in anything, but in that sense where like it's like we become the same age. It's like I become her leader in a certain way. Like even with our women, we need to lead them, and that's why I realized like nowadays men are not really leaders. When a Guza tunes, no, I want to talk time, you send. Oh, I want this, I want that, you send. But then it's up to you to tell her like, yo, I'm saving. I'm saving right now. I'm saving for this. I'm saving for the future. I need to do this. And then for women also, women need to be women. Because nowadays, we have these feminist movements and things like that. So those things are really driving us away from our roles. So much so that it's breaking society. Because if a man is a man, you won't be having any cases of, let's say, GBV. You won't be having cases of rape, if men were truly men. Men were
it goes back to what you're saying and how we're supposed to protect and provide.
Protect and provide. So
what are you protecting or providing?
Yeah, so like there'll be times when I'm at my girl's house like really late. Like this happened like 2 weeks ago. I was at the house very late, and this was like 22, 23, and there was a ruckus outside. Like there was noise outside, and she was just like, yo, I'm really glad you're here because if I was alone, I would have been very scared. And like, just like your presence there, like, and I realize this all the time. Like, you find that if your girl is walking alone, like sometimes I do this. I let her walk, like, she's walking. You hear guys hollering at her, sister, what? But if you are there, nobody will talk shit. Nobody will say anything.
So if guys don't holler at a girl, that means she's a freak or something.
No, bro. Yeah, but dude, nowadays everybody hollers on that bridge, bro. Even at bridge, sometimes I see girls that like just what's happening at this course. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're in a relationship or if you're pursuing a girl, just be a man, bro. Like, be a man in the sense that if you are chasing a dream or if you have, even if you have money, bro. If your boozer says I need talk time, bro, like, yo, assess that, man. Like, yo, you need airtime. Once in a while, yes, you can give her, but
because it actually got to that point. Now it was like,
mind the body.
I didn't want to tune that because I was like, I was going for money. Because it actually reached that point. That's when I was just like,
I think maybe, yeah, but like, I think like, because like women, like whenever you give to your girl, right? I'm not saying that you give in order to return to get something back, but also like you need to check out this Guza. Is this Guza someone that nurtures? Is this Guza someone that multiplies? Because you have situations where like
but that's deep, man.
You give a girl something like you give your girlfriend maybe 10 kwacha, let's say 10 kwacha, and then she uses that 10 kwacha to buy bundles and browse for research or something like that, So she's multiplied that 10 kwacha that you've given her,
I'm sorry, pause again. I'm just so happy that she's not going to watch this. There was a time because she asked, like, no, I want money for Betway. I was like, Betway? No! I'm telling you. I'm not even. The funny thing is, it wasn't even about soccer. It was about those Casino games, man.
We need to be sponsored by Betway.
But now Betway.
You know what you just reminded me of? Dr. Dre's wife. You know how she was demanding money for charity? Like, it was a span, like maybe 700 pin, something, but it was a lot. Then she literally had the audacity to demand from him money for charity. Think about this for 1 second. The same way she's asking for money for Betway. When she's Dr. Dre's wife, who's asking for money for charity? Literally, I should be giving you my money, so you should give it to charity.
Yeah, because charity is supposed to come from your hard work.
Like, why are you making it someone else's responsibility?
Exactly. And practically, gambling is charity, man.
Because like, bruh, I heard she was asking a large sum amount for just clothes, like per month. Dude, like when I saw those figures, I was like, damn, you know, these are people who actually, these are women that actually get money from like being like just from being divorced, they'll become millionaires just because of that.
So that's what we also have to start looking at, like with the girls who are trying to get. Is it someone who's going to just be there to get the money?
But that's also the thing about free things. Free things are never really, you never really do anything productive with them. Except for like, I really like Jeff Bezos' wife. Like when
Reinvested.
No. Like
give it away.
The time she got divorced. She actually, the reason why Amazon is where it was because she was an accountant for Amazon. She actually put in the time in Amazon. So there, like, she deserved that, like, 70 billion or whatever. Like, there I can, like, that's dope.
But she jumped, like, from nowhere to be, like, the 4th, 5th richest person in the world.
Yeah, man, like, time.
Smashing the right.
Yeah, man. So, like, women, dude, like, you know, women need to be women, bro. Like, you know, I get, like, you know, as much as we love, you know, hoes and, you know, these girls that perform slave queens and things like that. Like, yo, we like baddies, bro. But then at the same time,
let's check who we follow.
And you know what's funny is one thing I've realized. These girls who are baddies or what, like slave queens, like they really know how to take care of men. Like in the sense of, you know, where like you know, for a man, like for me, specifically for me, like if I visit a girl and like I've known her intimately, like I would love her to like cook for me, or just like not in an old-fashioned type of way. I don't know why. I just feel like that warmth, you know, when somebody does something for me, like they cook for me and things like that. It doesn't have to be like anything like takes her 2 hours to cook. No, it's just like a few minutes. And that's really dope, man. Like that's really, really, really dope.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you find yourself in a position where you request the meal to be made? Or
No.
Is this the meal which she's just making because she wants?
She makes it because she wants.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't. Bro, where can I even start? Where can you even start?
See my beans.
Wait. That's a major pave. That's a major pave. It's the same thing as like a girl who asks for money, bro. It's the same thing. Like even you as a guy, if you ask for sex, you don't have to ask for it, bro. Like, you know, it has to go. Yeah, you know, it has to come after marriage. Yeah.
Christian nation. Don't
forget that Zambia is a Christian nation.
Yeah.
Everything said here.
Shout out.
I have a question. I have a question where you said we need to know our roles. My question is, where do we learn these roles from?
As much as this will be controversial, but I feel like it's mostly like the biggest role where we learn this, the biggest place where we learn this from is through the Holy Bible, the Christian Bible. It may not be like, and you know what's funny about the Christian Bible, right? People may not be really like, you know, I have a bit of some doubts about Christianity and everything, and I have a few questions about it. But you know what's funny is the Bible is such a complete book that even the devil himself uses it. Like he uses scripture to manipulate people. He uses scripture to do it that way. And the Bible, there's a scripture in the Bible that says a leg can't say no. Like, oh, I want to be the eyes. You know, and whenever a leg says I want to be an eye, they are no longer fulfilling their purpose. And whenever a man says, yo, I don't have to be a man, and there are a lot of men who are out there, they say, I don't want to be a man, it erodes society in a way. And if you read, if you read, I'm not going to talk a lot, but like if you read, there's this book, I've forgotten the author, but it talks about how a society in a country can be brought down just by disrupting the family, Meaning the fact, by the way, the Bible.
Yeah, I think I've seen that somewhere.
Yeah, the Bible actually talks about family.
Somewhere? Look at Black America.
Yeah. The Bible actually talks about family as man and woman.
Yeah.
Children, not really, because children aren't really considered as family, they're considered as visitors. Because the family is when a man and a woman come together. That's when a family is created.
Yeah.
And then the children are just a production of that family. So if a man says, yo, I don't want to be a man, and the woman says, you know what, I will be the man, and that will erode society.
Mm-hmm. So I have a question. Then, based off what you just said, yeah, how does that play into the concept of homosexuality?
Homosexuality?
Because if what you're saying is true, then the L Shanshani, BGT, whatever Q, there's a problem there, innit? Assuming what you're saying is true, let's go with that assumption.
Again, like homosexuality, you know, I haven't really like studied it or like thought about it, you know, but I feel like it's from the experience that I've seen, like from the observation that I've seen from people, it's usually like, especially guys, right? Like if a guy is gay, so to say, it's either somebody who's had a father who hasn't been around, or somebody who was ill-treated by the father, and the father made him feel like a bitch.
What do you like the father, like a male figure in there?
Yeah, like a male figure in the life has made them feel like a bitch, like, you know, like you're just like a woman, you know, like things like that. And it builds up from there. And for women, it's the other way around. And you know, which is funny because most of the times women who are dysfunctional, in a way, like women who are messed up, are those women who really didn't have a father present in their life. Like most of them, not all of them, but like most of them.
I have a slight question before we go further, yeah? Not to throw us away. When you said dysfunctional, what do you mean? Because when you said dysfunctional, I think Bambi is lucky.
No, but like, bro, like so you have to call it spade a spade. So, yeah, you have to call it spade a spade.
It's dysfunctional by whose standards? Is it society's? Is it the Bible's? Who's
Okay, so I think when, like, if you ask whose standard, like that question is like a Russian door. You always keep opening it up. So now we'll start from when we're talking about standard, right? We're talking about moral law. So the moral law tells us that killing is bad. The moral law tells us love your neighbor and don't. This is even without the Bible. Yeah. Killing someone, like if you kill someone in almost all the countries, it's illegal killing someone.
I think every country. But
bro, you never know. You never know. There's some country out there where like when you kill, you get points. You know,
go to New Zealand.
Yeah. So.
Say some damn shit back home. But you get it.
What is it?
What's that?
You can't say that in the podcast.
You can't. Okay, my just
I'm out here trying to get an Arabian babe. Then I start saying shit that is
but now you're exposing it even more. That will be after the podcast.
Yeah, we're recording.
Yeah, but anyway, we'll be holding like a separate Zoom meeting where you can pay a fee to hear what we actually want to say. But anyway,
to be honest, I was just playing devil's advocate when you're going on about homosexuality and also using the phrases you use. But for me personally, homosexuality is a mental illness. And yes, I've had my own gay encounters. I've had a couple, man. No, not like that.
Oh, okay.
Like I was saying, I genuinely feel homosexuality like a mental illness. And I'm not coming from a place where I'm trying to take shots at them. I've got friends who are gay, who are bi, or whatever. I've also had my own encounters. Like there was a time we were back in school. We were at the club, turning up.
You with another guy.
Relax. And no, to answer your question, no. But relax. So yeah.
We use this from the box.
We're turning up. Me, I'm super drunk, man. Super late. Then this guy comes over. Everybody in school knew that he used to swim both sides at least. So he comes like, yo, Josh, let's go into the elevator. Let's go make out. If you don't like it, you don't like it. You know, if you do, then hey, you found no experience. Bruh, I was drunk. I have never koroloka so quickly in my life.
Okay. I thought that was going to go another way.
I was so drunk. I got up. I went to the place where the rest of the Zambians were, and I asked them to go blackout. I just need to be safe.
You're running away from the man.
You know, yeah, and then not just that, man. Some of this stuff also happened when I was much younger, like much younger. This year now I've grown up, but much younger even at the family, like where I had a cousin who used to try and touch me inappropriately, to the point that, in as much as I was a kid, man, you can ask my mom this story. She'll tell you, I walked into the living room like the very next day, like a bunch of visitors. I went to go ask her, like, fam, me and my gay. Like, you know, imagine like a 10-year-old kid. You just walk into the living room and you're like, in front of visitors, but I didn't give a shit. I was like, mommy, me and my gay. And you can imagine where the shock in my mom. Like, it'd be nice to bring on the podcast just to explain this come apart so you can get it from her. But that threw her off, man, to the point that from then on, none of us were allowed to like share our bedrooms with relatives, cousins, whatnot. There was none of that. But now, a couple of maybe a year or two later, it all came back full circle. So this thing where you're sharing with cousins and whatnot. I had two cousins.
These cousins are guys.
Yeah, okay. For sharing the bathroom with your kids. So now,
So making me laugh.
very like idea. So one of them suggested, like, let's do each other. You see, where's the old boys at? Easy, let's do this shit. Yeah. So.
What you said this beginning?
As a producer, we gotta finish the story.
Finish it.
On the top, yeah? One of them is like, let's try this shit. So,
You're in a tub.
in a bathtub. Just know it. So you guys have never shared with like family. Let's say this is a normal thing.
Okay.
So just say a shower.
Bro, you know, I don't get comfortable. Like, even amongst guys, I'm so uncomfortable. Like, even removing my shirt, bro.
Bro, you should ask Jonathan the first and last time we ever went to the soccer rugby club. What happened to us, man? First of all, why he won't go back there? Because like our stuff got stolen. Like everything was stolen. Now the other thing is like when we went to the but you get back to your story by the way.
Showers.
The showering time. We didn't expect
bro.
We didn't expect that. People were just butt naked. I'm like, yo.
It's like boarding school.
I was just seeing things swinging around. I was like, man, I'm looking up. I'm not looking down.
Oh, you guys went to day schools, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. You see, you rich kids who only do at home. Guys, boarding school. I remember. Okay, I've never been to boarding school, but I remember I do like tuitions. I got to DK, got Cafe Boys. Bro, the guys in the bath had no fucks. They're just walking around with your dick is swinging this side, you're walking around with booty this side. You're like, what is this? He's picking his soap. You're like, how's this normal? He's even climbing on top of the barrier so he can ask you for soap. You're like, this bitch is like, how's this normal? But anyway, yeah, so while showering, one cousin suggests that we do that. Yeah? But anyway, let me not give you details. Just to cut it short, nothing exactly happened. Like this, I'm just going. Can you give details?
Yeah. Details, bro.
So you keep dying, right?
No. Give details. Give details.
Look this side. Look this side. For producer.
Anyway, so one cousin suggests we try this, yeah? So this is like the youngest cousin, or maybe me and him were the same age. So he bends over, the oldest cousin. He tries, he puts. Miss my 10, bruh. Like my shit ain't doing nothing. Like, you know, it's not getting half a shit, so I feel. It's like my cousin saying is like, let me go. My nigga was packing. I was like, hey, fuck that shit. Ain't nobody squeezing that shit to my video. But you could say, well, kids, it's happened to kids experiment, that's how we're trying, but that's not it. The reason why, remember I talked about my older cousin, the one who made me go ask my queen if I swim this way? That was the older brother of the very cousin who suggested we do that. So you check, it goes back to what you're saying with homosexuality, how it comes from somewhere. Either you're abused when you're younger, you're not just doing it.
Just then come
so
from
now that I'm older, that entire all of that comes back full circle, you know, and like, oh, this guy only suggested that because his big brother was fucking gay. Now, where it now comes home, yeah? Because, bro, me, I'm one person who loves my personal space. Even when I'm gaming, like, just don't touch me. Even if it's my baby, you think I'm funny shit, but they still be me, bro. So I don't like being touched overall.
Okay, like,
so now, how it was going was, Kai, my queen, is like, ain't nobody sharing rooms with my kid no more. My cousin goes to sleep with the guardian in the Kasamwa squatter.
Don't tell me.
Bruh, didn't the guardian come and confess in the morning? And this man then was trying to, you know...
So you just know that the problem. So is it still like that today?
I don't know. I don't fuck with that side of the family anymore. So I don't know. I would not be surprised. But it all stems from somewhere at the end of the day. But nobody is born gay. Because look, even that encounter I had going into uni, you know, I could have had that mindset of maybe, but I met the guy by the lift. I'm like, maybe I'm gay, let me try. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But no, it's, you just know yourself these things. It's nothing else. Your
circumstance.
Like, the majority of, look at most chicks are lesbians. The majority of them either got raped and they don't just see men the same. So they'd rather, I'm touched by a woman than a dude. I mean, there are people who've come out from they're in remission, they're no longer doing hormone therapy or whatever. But when you talk to them, you can see that there was some damage done to them before they decided to say, oh,
that's just like it's a psychological thing.
Yeah, it's all in the mind, man. It's all in the psyche. Making money is psychological. Everything is psychological.
True, because there's been this chick also who she swings both ways. Then she was trying to make me go both ways. I was like, no, you want to try pegging? I was like, what was that? What's that? And I was like, no, just say yes or no. I'll tell you about it later. And I was like, since I'm on like a smartphone, let me just Google it. And I saw what pegging was. I was like, hey, no, whether you're fine or what, like, it's okay. I can't really go that far.
But it's interesting, you know. The guys who, again, you can see the guys who never had, who grew up around doing lady stuff. I used to play Demon, I used to play game, I used to play theater.
Bro, I'm literally the only guy here,
exactly,
but still more
you see, yeah.
But the thing is, game isn't gay, bro.
The thing is,
game isn't gay, bro. That's not the
It's not gay, but it's considered a feminine sport.
Okay, what's the difference between game and American dodgeball or kickball?
Those are girl games, Kylie. It's just like they incorporated. No, not kickball, like dodgeball. They just incorporate boys in those sports. Remember there even times where back in school they'd separate the guys from playing with the girls because you guys just swing harder. You know what I mean?
I'm not your boys' coach. No,
it meant like primary. Primary.
But yeah, overall, like, you know, so if you look at him playing games, or people playing games like that, I played those games. I'm straight as a motherfucker. But now if you look at with him, he grew up around women, no dad. So you see, it goes back to what you were saying. You lived the exact same life, but you had a strong male figure in your life. You see, so missing that or having a lack of that is wild. Which goes back to like the state of America. If you look at the black culture, it's toxic, man. It's bad because half the dads are arrested. Ain't no bodies in the house, so you're being raised by your queen, your granny. And all of a sudden, Lil Nazi X is stealing your comb, you buy my name, or his new song is done, wait, in prison, dancing with my gay guys. Like, you know, it's in your face, and you're thinking that's normal. That's all you have to make a comparison of life. And again, if you look at it, that decision is coming from a place of mental. So it's a mental thing. You're not just born gay, boom, no. It's a conscious decision.
Yeah, because that's also just going back to the whole American concept. I would like to add, like, that's the whole, how can I say, the westernization is trying to be pushed on us. Because they want us to follow that same mentality of, let's say, we won't really pay attention to our fathers. We'll just be doing what, okay, like, we can go back to also like the whole female movement. Because they want us to not focus on what our male figures are doing. They want us to focus on what the women are doing.
And putting it in that context, that doesn't mean that the man is the most important figure in the family. No. When you actually look at family, your woman is actually the superior being. You know that, right? It's just that.
I agree with that.
It's just that she tones it down she submits. She willingly submits to you.
Because she has to.
You know that, right? Not that she has to.
She has to.
I disagree with that because I don't believe a man is superior to a woman, and I don't believe that a woman is superior to a man. I believe they are equal, but they have different roles. And usually, roles, whenever people mistake roles for value. Like, if I sweep this room, it means my value is lower than the person that paints this room. But your roles are different, but you are equal.
Very true.
Yeah. So that I don't.
Well, maybe the phrasing of superior was wrong, but
I know it's like.
let me put it this way: like, you know, the Holy Spirit, the Greek word for the Holy Spirit and the Greek word for woman is the same. You know that, right? Yeah. And when you look at what the Holy Spirit is, the Holy Spirit is a helper. Not to say that the Holy Spirit.
I'm done a mistake. Oh, God damn it. LR. I'm done a mistake. Done those mistakes sometimes.
But anyway, the Holy Spirit is a helper, yeah? So when you look at a woman, she's doing the exact same thing in your life. So that's where the essence of power comes. That's why when a woman comes into your life, a good woman, you're guaranteed to better yourself tenfold. You check. In a way, you're not going to do it on your own. Facts? Well,
Facts.
Out of my ass.
Facts.
So basically, like,
it's happening in my life, actually,
Yeah.
guys.
Preach, but
As a prophet,
go deeper.
prophet, Muhammad, Buddha, CR5,
Bushiri.
yeah.
But yeah, that also comes to the fact that I somehow also disagree when you say women and men are equal. I don't think we're actually equal, but there's a sense of there's equality and equity. We're not equal, but we have, like, how can I say it? We have a part to play, like what you were saying. We can't do everything which a woman can do, and a woman can't do everything which we can do. We just have to know the roles which we play and stick to those roles.
maybe we define what being equal means, because
It's the value.
when you're taking it from well, it's the point of value, they're not the same.
Yeah,
Because we're both-
That's basically what I mean.
Except that hash is made from us, honor. But at the end of the day, still.
No, but like, you see this in when you have kids, right? Like when you have kids, if you have a daughter and a son, who's more valuable?
Depends on
Who's
which
the-
culture you come from.
No. Like right now, to you, if you had a daughter and a son, who's more valuable?
The son, but I think I love my daughter more.
So the son is more valuable to you.
Only because of the concept of my name continues.
No, that's his role. That's his role. His role is to continue your
then
name.
in terms of who's more valuable, whichever,
But
my
you
name,
know-
any, whether it's a son or chick.
No.
who's
You know that sometimes, let's say, there's a movie that I'm not going to say the title of the movie because it's quite not Black Widow. It's actually Mortal Kombat.
Wrong.
But you talk about Scorpion, right? Scorpion. You've seen the Mortal Kombat movie, the latest one. Scorpion's ancestry was based on his mother surviving, not the father. So basically, what Sub-Zero did was to kill Scorpion because Scorpion was like the greatest ninja to ever live, and they killed his whole clan so that none of the clan members should survive, and which means
So his daughter also survived.
the daughter that survived. So meaning that the bloodline was carried by a woman, meaning that the value of a woman is still important. Doesn't necessarily have to carry it by your name.
No,
Like even in African context, right? Kingship was matrilineal; it wasn't patriarch. You see, so like for example, if I'm a king, it's because of my aunt, not because of my father. You get. So, like, if I was to have like a son and a daughter, they would both be equal. And I think if with God and whatever God you believe in, all human beings are equal and they all have equal value. But the roles and the things that they do.
But you see, here's the thing. Before we even get into roles, what is this value? What value are you placing upon? Remember why I said son? Because I'm like, he carries my name. And see, at the end of the day, it's based off culture. But certain people who are going to say, like in the Indians, I think the Indians prefer to have a son because it's the chick who's coming to pay dowry, a check. So if it's you if you have a daughter, it's your family's responsibility to find a husband and pay a check.
So it just goes back to what you call that.
Yeah, it's just a question of what you define as value. But in terms of like the way you got it up, like who's more valuable, son or daughter? How a female, they both came from me, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly. So like,
It doesn't matter.
you know, and I think it's the same thing with as a race of humanity, right? We each have the man and the woman. It goes back again to the issue of family. The man and the woman are supposed to work together in order for us to push humanity forward. Simple. So whenever you have this battle of the sexes, or like, you know, hey, women should do this, men should do that, you cause a lot of confusion. And this is why nowadays, like, people don't really want to associate themselves with helping each other. Because if you look at it this way, you and I are boys, like, we're boys here, and the things that I can do for you in terms of like, yo, I want to see you built, are not to the point where like your significant other would do. Like, your significant other would make sacrifices she would never make for anyone else, and that's very important in life. It's different from, and you realize this the older you get, the more you get out of your parents' life, and you start building your own life, and you realize that your significant other will actually build you more than anybody else in your life. And that is threatened whenever we have a battle of the sexes. Whenever we tell women like, yo, you don't need men, and whenever we tell men, women are just hoes, they are not what, and then we tell women that men are just here to exploit you and things like that. And women think like, no, if a man comes in my life, he's here to destroy me, and vice versa. And you destroy a society just like that. You see? And wealth is passed through generations to generation. And that's how, look at all the biggest companies in the world. You look at Walmart, you look at the Lamborghinis, the BMW, it's family wealth, you know. And the reason why, like, you know, Africans and, you know, black people, let's just say black people, is because our families are usually disintegrated. You know, we do not have that. We used to have those family values, but we no longer have them now. Because now you have wealth as Chichi, you have a 20p. That 20p, you use it for yourself to build your wealth. When you die, your uncles and aunties will come and get that, and they'll share it, they'll distribute it, and you will never hear about your empire anymore. But if you have a son or a daughter who will pass it down generations, they'll also help other people using your empire, you know. So yeah, men and women really need to play their roles in life, and it's never really like, yo, this person is better than this person. At least that's what I believe.
No, but that's what I was even about to rephrase the question which you asked like earlier on about who would you pick or who has more value between the male and the female. I think like in the future, like as fathers, it's not about who has the most value, is what value are you going to give to them.
Exactly.
Because if you don't really impart anything on them, they won't do anything.
Exactly, I'm talking about it like in the sense of inception, like just at the beginning. Like they're both born, let's say they're twins, a girl and a boy, twins, born at the same time.
I can stop having sex, that's what I want.
I don't want the football team.
Balance the ratio.
I want the football team, man, like a good 12.
No, it's true, man. Well, we're really all important. But you can't have one without the other.
Exactly.
True. No.
There's a song where in the lyrics it says, every son is a shining. Every man is a son to a daughter. Like, you know, like
chicken and the egg.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, so damn, man, like you can't have one without the other. It's crazy.
That's true.
Yeah.
But overall, seeing that the topic was homosexuality,
I think we have covered it in and out.
That was a subtopic. Like, have we?
I think we've covered.
Some of us have confessed things we haven't said to anybody.
wasn't thinking of going to share some things also, but it
No,
is
but
what it
like,
is.
man, at the end of the day, like I have nothing to hide around that. Like, you know, I know my sexuality in the ins and outs of it. Like, you know, damn fuck with me. You know how the guys who at the end of every statement want to go no homo.
No.
What? Why are you insecure? Why are you insecure?
And I love you, no.
Quite right, you understand the statement or the sentence was gay. You know, it's a gay sentence.
Yeah.
Bruh, when we're not gay, leave it. But no homo, man. No homo. Then why the fuck are you saying gay shit?
No, that's true.
But
Yeah, but overall, I'm literally just winding up.
Oh, okay. No.
But overall, like the discussions which we've had about the different topics and different subtopics also, as the viewer or listener, depending on which platform you're going to listen to, if you feel you want to continue this discussion, feel free to do it in the comment section or email or DM, whichever Twitter handle or whichever social media thing you just follow, whichever social media account you follow.
And if there's something I said that you don't like, just drop it in the comments and he'll invite me again. So.
Exactly.
Yes.
So at this point, I just like to thank our sponsors for the t-shirts and the hats and the ball. One day. Yeah, I just want to thank you for watching to the end and peace.